Have you ever stood before an ancient Egyptian statue, carved from the hardest granite or diorite rocks, and asked yourself, how did they truly do this? Traditional history tells us a simple, almost primitive story. It suggests that the builders of the pyramids used only copper chisels and stone hammers. But as we look closer, the stones themselves begin to whisper a completely different truth. We're told that millions of tons of stone were shaped by hand, using tools made of soft metals. Yet, we see precision that rivals modern-day engineering. In this journey, we aren't looking at myths or legends. We're examining physical, tangible evidence found in the scars left on the rock, marks that demand a technological explanation beyond anything we've been told. The central problem is hardness. In science, we use the Mohs scale to measure how materials scratch each other. The copper tools found in the archaeological record have a hardness of only 3. However, the rose granite and diorite used in the king's chamber and the great statues have a hardness exceeding 7. It is a physical impossibility for a soft copper blade to cut through a hard granite block. Archaeologists often argue that wet sand was used as an abrasive. While sand can eventually wear down stone, the precision we see in Egypt is far too consistent. We see perfectly flat surfaces and razor-sharp right angles that cover thousands of square feet. Doing this with sand and copper is like trying to carve a mountain with a toothpick. The scale of the work implies something much more efficient. The story of lost technology found its strongest evidence in the work of Sir William Flinders Petrie. In the late 19th century, Petrie was not just an archaeologist, he was a man of measurement. While surveying the Giza Plateau, he encountered artifacts that defied explanation. He found discarded stone cores that appeared to have been extracted by massive high-speed drills. The most famous of these is known as core number 7. It is a simple cylinder of granite, but it holds a secret etched into its surface. Petrie noticed a continuous spiral groove winding down the cylinder. This is not the mark of a hand tool. It is the signature of a drill bit that was penetrating the rock with incredible force and speed. When modern engineers like Christopher Dunn analyzed these grooves, they were shocked. The distance between each spiral, the feed rate, shows that the drill was sinking into the granite at a rate of 2.5 millimeters per single revolution. To achieve this today, you would need a massive industrial diamond drill, applying tons of pressure. To put this in perspective, our most advanced modern drills often struggle to match this rate of penetration in solid rose granite. Calculations suggest that the drill head required a load of at least 2 tons of pressure pushing down. How did the ancient builders generate this kind of force? And more importantly, what was the drill bit made of to survive such intense friction? Beyond drilling, we must consider the logistics of giants. In the quarries of Aswan, blocks weighing over 1,000 tons remain attached to the bedrock. Modern engineering shows that the traditional theory of wooden rollers would fail. The wood would simply be crushed under the weight. This suggests they possessed a lost method for moving these massive stones, perhaps through advanced mechanics or even sonic frequency. Some researchers have theorized that the Egyptians mastered the science of sound. By using specific frequencies, they might have been able to vibrate the stone, making it easier to cut and move. While it sounds like science fiction, the acoustic properties of the Great Pyramid and the Serapeum suggest that these builders understood sound in a way we are only beginning to rediscover. Let us now travel to Saqqara to examine the diorite vases. Diorite is one of the toughest stones on the planet, yet the Egyptians produced thousands of these vessels with paper-thin walls. Many of these vases have very narrow necks, but are hollowed out into wide, perfect spheres inside. This is a task that even a modern master would find nearly impossible without a lathe machine. The precision of these vases is staggering. Many are perfectly balanced. Even when empty, they sit perfectly on a curved base. This requires incredible mathematical knowledge and a manufacturing process that ensures perfect symmetry. It suggests they were using high-speed turning tools, a technology we didn't refine until the Industrial Revolution. But the ultimate mystery lies underground, in the tunnels of the Serapeum. Here, we find 24 massive granite boxes, each weighing up to 70 tons, with lids weighing another 30 tons. They're tucked into alcoves where there is barely enough room for a human to stand, let alone a team of workers to maneuver such weight. The precision of the Serapeum boxes is where the copper tool theory completely falls apart. The interior surfaces are perfectly flat and the corners are perfect 90-degree angles. When engineers test these surfaces with light gauges, not a single ray of light can pass through. This level of flatness is usually only found in modern optical laboratories. Think about the environment. Dark, cramped tunnels with limited oxygen. How could workers achieve mirror-like finishes and laser straight lines in such conditions? It suggests they weren't just carving stone. They were machining it. They were using tools that could cut through granite as easily as we cut through wood today. To replicate this work today, we would use CNC machines and computer-aided design. We would require massive amounts of electricity and industrial factories. Where is the evidence of the power plants in ancient Egypt? If they weren't using electricity as we know it, they were tapping into a form of energy that has been lost to history. We must ask ourselves, are we looking at the past through a lens of arrogance? We assume that because we have smartphones, we are the most advanced. But the stones of Egypt stand as a silent challenge. They represent a hard stone technology that might have been cleaner and more integrated with the laws of physics than our own. Every drill mark and every polished surface tells us that a high-tech civilization existed long before our recorded history. Perhaps the Pharaohs didn't build these structures, but inherited them from an even older, more advanced era. An era where the mastery of stone was a science we are only now beginning to grasp. As we continue to measure and analyze, the evidence only grows stronger. The ancient Egyptians, or those who came before them, were not just builders. They were master engineers. Their legacy is etched in the hardest rocks on Earth, waiting for us to finally learn how to read the data they left behind. Do you believe that copper and stone hammers created these wonders? Or is it time we rewrite the history books? The evidence is there for anyone willing to look. Thank you for joining us on this investigation. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments below. What do you think was the secret of the Pharaohs?